minutes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first meeting in first buildings and facilities meeting in a long time. I love the new offices in the background, especially yours, George.
Thank you. I have a window.
Yep. So let's just go around so I know I can hear you guys, but just to make sure. George,
Here.
Tammy,
Here.
Sharon.
Here.
Okay. All right, first order of business is to approve the minutes of April 15th. Can someone make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any changes, comments, suggestions? Thank you, Tammy, for doing the minutes.
This will be my last time this time, I think.
Yeah. Wait, when are we switching over? Oh, is it
Austin
the
will,
next?
Austin will appoint at the next trustee meeting.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
Can we go around and vote in favor? George,
Approve.
Tammy,
Yes.
Sharon? Wait, no.
I don't vote.
And I approve. Thank you. All right. Next thing is public comment. And I think we have one attendee. If you'd like to make a comment, please unmute yourself and enter the room. Or raise your hand first, of course. No? Okay. No public comment. All right, let's go to monthly buildings and grounds report. How are things going in the new building and the old building? I guess we're gonna get a report on both.
Yeah, so let me start and then George can take over. Specifically talking about us here at 101 University Drive. We couldn't have landed at a better place. The landlords, the Slobody family, and the couple of boots on the ground people, Dwight and Scott, are really fabulous. They are very receptive. And there's been lots of, it's weird having a landlord. And you know what we have nothing but landlords. We have the town of Amherst with north and south, and now we have the Slobodies here at 101. So it's wild. There's no mold here, and it doesn't rain inside, and the light is really so lovely. It's really giving people a glimpse of what the new 43 Amity Street is gonna look like. My other comments are it's there's not nearly enough space here. All our staff and our services are scattered into 6 different suites on 2 different floors, and they're at opposite ends. The children's department is alone on the first floor, which is not, from a safety standpoint, this is far from ideal. It's not good in that way. We staff so far are it's not the safest. It's not the best way to run a public library.
Right.
It's definitely, a short-term solution. Nights and weekends are the most difficult because that's when we have a skeleton crew.
Mhm.
Special collections and ESL, you have to make appointments to meet with those staff members. And our adult collection had to be, because there's not enough space here. I mean, there's no programming. Well, there's a little room for programming. It's a room that holds like 15 to 20 people. We were able to carve that out, but our collection, we couldn't fit the entire adult collection here. So the adult collection is split between here and the basement of Munson, which has its own environmental issues, and then the bunker, and the items that are in the bunker are not accessible. Those items are away for the duration of construction. So So it's awesome. It's the best place we could be for the next, year and a half, but definitely there are downsides, and we're all looking forward to, the new 43.
Yeah.
But George has more to say.
Can
Not
I
a lot more. You said most of it. Go ahead, Farah.
can I quickly ask a couple of questions while just before we go into George? So Sharon, first off, space is amazing. Kudos to you and the staff. I mean, when I walked in on the inauguration day, it was just like this is how it should be. It just seems like it's made such a difference. And I was really sad the day I went to work. The one space I wanted near the window was gone. So I'm sure that goes right away. Okay, just real quick about the safety. Is there something we need to be worried about? Do we need to have, like, after hours or like later in the day, do we need to talk to Cress or somebody?
So we have met with police, fire, and Crest. They all came here for a tour. So they are very aware that we're here. Crest stops by every once in a while to do a walkthrough. And police and fire did their things. One of the things both police and fire said is the building, staff have talked about using walkie-talkies. We've got, telephones are everywhere,
Mhm.
and most staff have cell phones, so those are all set. And we actually have an emergency phrase that we can call and use in case there's a problem. But the walkie-talkie piece, apparently, according to police and fire, they don't work in this building.
Oh.
So that's all I got, really, for now.
Can I make one comment? They brought my granddaughters who they expected to be going to the Jones, and I took them to the interim space, and I was so impressed with how they had set up the children's room that was still the things to play and space to hang out. So I thought, and I did compliment them. I thought they'd done a really great job providing similar spaces for kids.
So inviting. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, just
yeah.
the atmosphere down there is amazing. I mean, the staff created a library out of nothing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
But it is hard that the bathroom is locked. I guess you have to ask for a key.
On
Is
the
that
first floor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Second floor was fine, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think that you guys did a great job on both floors, so
Yeah.
kudos.
There are a lot more bathrooms though, Tammy. Makes a big difference.
Yeah,
It's pretty
right.
nice. It's pretty nice. And the
also,
locks close.
Sharon, for real quick to go back to your safety question, there was no way to do it the other way around, right? Because you need that huge space for the main section of the library.
Because so on the base floor, we're on slab, so weight wasn't an issue as far as the stacks go. They just had to be apart from each other a certain number of feet for accessibility. But on the top floor, we had the accessibility issues as well as the weight issues, and the adult collection is much larger than the children's collection. So it just had to be. It had to be sorted out that way.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the kids department downstairs, they're right next door to CSO and the bridge. So it's not
Yeah.
like kids are entirely alone.
Yeah.
We also have down on the first floor, we have interlibrary loan and tech services are there. Also ATI. We have wonderful neighbors. ATI, we have UMass on the third floor. We have Amherst Media right next door to us on the second floor. So it's, no one is entirely alone. They're just kind of being in our own suites that's what's kind of making us feel blocked off.
That's why the new space is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
When we're done with it.
Yeah.
Thank you. George, you were going to say something and we interrupted you, so please.
No, you're fine. I don't have much else to add from what Sharon already said, but yeah, that is the one issue with, we're basically in a modern office building, so everybody's kind of in their own silos, and we have to go out into public space public shared space to go from one department to another. So we're all getting our miles in. You know, that the back staircase right outside the main office is a godsend to have because it's the quickest way to get from point A to point B. But what I will say, you know, I'll echo this, the staff really did an amazing job making something out of nothing. You know, when you're jamming almost 50,000 square feet of contents into half the space and, you know, trying to make something workable, you know, they really did an amazing job. I mean, the one big advantage is we have big wide open spaces instead of a bunch of tiny little rooms all over the place. So that was very advantageous. And I think that's why this temporary space just seems to flow a lot better and just it seems to be a lot more workable. We have more sight lines. We just have space to breathe and roam. But you know, of course, we don't have anywhere near as much seating. Like you said, that window table is the most popular place.
Yeah.
There's somebody in there all day long. Every time I walk into that space, there's somebody sitting there working because it really is the beauty spot to go to. Um, you know, and thankfully we were able to carve out a small programming space. We actually had a program in there on Monday for the very first time. The space was actually the catch-all for everything that we didn't know what we were going to do with yet, or stuff that we would normally store because we don't have any storage space here. So a lot of us have things in our offices that we wouldn't normally have there because there's just nowhere to go with it.
Right.
But overall, I think we did a really good job of just getting everything in place, finding homes for things, and really repurposing stuff to make it work as good as possible in this space. And I'll also echo what Sharon said, the landlords are really incredible. We chat with them almost daily. So that has been a really good thing.
I want to highlight some things that Steve, IT, Catherine, Special Collections, and George, you know, overall facilities. So they have probably a year and a half ago at this point, they started these spreadsheets with their inventory. We know, so having to do with the building project, we know that, you know, money is not endless, and so we knew going into this that we may have to reuse furniture and IT and things like that. So the spreadsheet served as here's the main inventory, and then the locations where the different items are going to be stored for the year and a half during construction, and then those spreadsheets are also being used for these items we're definitely keeping again. These items, if we have to keep, we can, you know, we can use another 10 years or so. And then here are the items where no, it's a piece of plywood, we're not saving it, kind of a thing. And so a lot of work went into these spreadsheets.
Yeah.
You don't realize when you go to empty out a house. How many actual end tables you own. And so just everything's been analyzed, and we are so ready to move back in and make decisions at the drop of a hat in working with the interior designer. So yeah, so huge shout out to Steve, Catherine, and George. Yeah.
And I will say, as you know, we dumped out a building that hadn't been completely emptied in nearly 100 years. And the most fun find was one of the last days we were there, we were just getting into like the deep dark spaces, and one of my guys found 2 table leaves in the attic above the trustees' room, way in the back. They're in their own special built case, and they're enormous. They're probably 2 feet wide. And nobody knew where they came from, but come to find out, they belong to a table that's part of the fine arts collection that Catherine had had on display in Special Collections. It's got provenance. I forget who it belonged to, but the table leaves actually match the table, which is now in deep storage. So we still don't have them together, but we were able to identify them, and now they sit in my office because there's nowhere else to go with them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What has traffic been like?
So it's funny, Steve finally got the door counters in place. And it's definitely decreased. I mean, it's summer
Summer,
and
yeah.
people haven't all found us yet. Once September rolls around, once everybody goes back to school, people will start coming more. But because we are all walking from suite to suite,
Mhm.
whatever the patron counters say, they're not accurate.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many staff members are, leaving the room to go to the children's room or to go use the bathroom or, to go to Dunkin' Donuts or so I can't even begin to fathom. So,
Right.
we'll have an idea over the next 18 months while we're here about usage here, but it's not apples to apples. It's not apples to, zucchini. It's like apples to Corvettes. It's just not, it can't be compared to 43.
Right. And yeah, summer is always kind of, sometimes people come with their kids, people aren't in town. I guess in September or the end of August, when camps are done, I think maybe you'll see an upsurge and
We
students start
also,
coming back. Yeah.
without a programming space, without a Woodbury room. So
Mhm.
if we can't have a magician here, that's going to attract 150 people. So it's just not, it's not the same thing. We do have programming going on at the 2 branches, but those are much, much smaller spaces.
Right.
And, anyways, so.
Yeah, and we also lost a lot of just the downtown walk-in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, there's definitely advantages to being right downtown and, I'm sure we lost a lot of traffic in that aspect as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But the summer reading thing is kicking off, is wrapping up at the Drake, right? So that would be
Correct.
good to see the numbers there.
Yeah.
And that's for all the libraries, because I know that Munson used to have a separate one in your.
Yeah. All the staff would work together now. So it's 3 summer reading programs. One for adults, one for teens, and one for kids,
Right.
among all 3 buildings.
That's great. Thank you so much. Tammy, do you have any other questions about this? About 101?
No, I think it's interesting about that the counters don't work, because if you go out to go to the bathroom and go back in, you're being counted
Yeah.
as, so
Yeah.
and staff coming and going. So I can see how it's good to have it, because we could see if there are more people using the site in the fall than in the summer. But I can still see how you can't compare them.
We also have occupancy levels that we have to be aware of. And I should know these off the top of my head. In Suite B1, which is the adult, I don't remember what the number is. There's a certain occupancy level, let's say 87. And then downstairs in the kids' room, Suite A4, I want to say that occupancy level is like 41. So the patron counters will help us if we ever feel that we're getting to those levels. We'll be able to tell how many people are in the room, and then, we'll just stop people from coming in if we have
Right.
to.
Right.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
Yes.
Should we also talk about building and grounds in terms of Amity Street? Any updates to share here?
Not that I can think of. We have building committee on Monday. That way, Colliers will be able to report about what's going on site. George, is there anything you can think of?
We lost
Farah just
Farah.
left us.
I'll give her a second to come back.
See if she can come back.
Yeah.
There she is.
There she is.
Sorry, I got kicked off.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's
I missed
okay.
I heard you say building committee on Monday.
Building committee on Monday, and then George's wheels were spinning.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I just because we haven't met since April, you know, we did have the opportunity once 43 Amity was completely empty. We did have staff go back just so they could walk through and say their last goodbyes to the space as it was. And Catherine did a great job of just documenting the space. You know, she took tons of photo and video, and you know, we were able to. It was going to be a mad dash getting out of there, but we managed to do it with enough time that we were actually able to go in, and it was important to staff to just be able to go in and like say their goodbye for 18 months. So
Right.
we were able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I'm glad. I
Hmm.
think I saw some photos on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must have been sad leaving, but happy sad.
Happy
Right?
sad. Yeah.
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 And there's a lot of work going on there, but I know that we'll talk about that at our meeting on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you both.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you,
That's
guys.
it, right?
I think so.
Any topics on unanticipated topics? Nope. Okay. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good weekend. Wait, is it the no?
It's only
the-
It's only
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
You too.